So yesterday during Mandy's meeting, I got rotors. So there's one front one here, the other front one underneath, and front brake pads and the shims and stuff. And then so I'm got the front passenger wheel off and got it all off, and now I'm gonna switch it. That's the old one right here. Pretty rough shape there. Hard to see, but pretty rough shape. For the old one, it was not grabbing much. That's the area that it was grabbing, the shiny spot. So it did not have much that it was grabbing on. So there's the driver's side, or the passenger side, and the brake pads are right there. Very weak and just pivoted and everything. So doing that right now. I got this side off and about to start putting it on, and I got some brake clean so I can be able to clean, because when you get rotors, they have a oil on them that you got to clean off before you put them on, because that makes your brakes not work as well. But that oil is to keep it from rusting during shipment and storage and everything. So we got front rotors and front brake pads for both sides. There's one in the box for the driver's side, that one for the passenger. And we got rotors for the back, as well as brake pads for the back. Somewhere here. I got the box with the back brake pads. But tomorrow is when I'm going to do those, because later today I'm getting the brake shoes, because you can see there is brake pads in there. Right there, brake pads that are kind of rough, but there's brake pads and there's brake shoes on the inside. That the brake shoes on the inside are for your parking brake, emergency brake. So those are coming in the mail today. So I'll be putting those on tomorrow, which are drum brakes. So I'll do a video on those as well. But I'm gonna get back to it. There it is, new rotor. I got the lug nuts to be able to hold it in place. New brake pads and new shims for the brake pads, all on. So now it's just putting the brake caliper back on, which I got to press that so the calipers go back out, and then putting the tire back on, and then passenger side will be done. Got another newer brake or back rotor and brake pads and brake shoes for the emergency brake, parking brake, to go on. Here's the driver's side. Then I got a 21 socket, because what's on this one tire is 21, but I got a whole bunch of 19. I got brake clean, gloves, tools, impact, and I'm going to start swapping the parking brake shoes and hardware for new ones. And I got to go get the brake grease for that, high temperature brake grease. So the brake shoes and hardware is in the bottom box. Top box are brake pads. And then the rotor, which we got brand new ones that don't have any rust on them. But these ones are new. They haven't been used at all. They're starting to get some surface rust because the oils and stuff got cleaned off. So this is the rear end of the Jeep doing the brakes, rotors, and emergency brake. And I ended up not being able to use the rotors that I show in this. I had to use the other set that we bought with the front ones and the front brake pads and back brake pads and back rotors all set as a set, all four around. Ended up having to use those rotors because the rotors I show in this one are not even for this Jeep, and it came with the Jeep when we bought it. They said that it was for it, but it's not. Completely different size. So just so you all know, wanted to add that in there. Appreciate everybody for watching. Make sure you please hit that like. If you're on a TV, you just push the arrows up and down and navigate to it. Hit that subscribe. Many people that view the videos are not subscribed, and it greatly helps us with likes and subscribes, more than you know. And we, Mandy, I, and Morty greatly appreciate and hope everybody joins our YouTube family by subscribing and hitting that bell and turning on notifications for when we upload videos, which I try to daily. But the hard part is my camera lens on my phone that I normally film with is broken, so Mandy and I have new phones coming, both of us, so I'll be able to use the new phone after it gets here in a couple days. So appreciate everybody who watches. Hit that subscribe, like, share, all of the good stuff. Leave a comment if you know any easier ways to be able to do all of this, or you see anything I did wrong or anything I did right, and any advice is always appreciated. So let's get back to it. So I'm gonna use these ones first, and then I'm gonna go to, I got the other ones that are brand new with still all of the storage oils and stuff put away in our, over here I got this filing cabinet, which bottom drawer is Jeep parts. So I got that with Jeep parts in it, and I got a bunch of parts and stuff in there. But over here, this one's 19 millimeter, that one's 19 millimeter. There's Morty, the front driver's 19 millimeter. That's from the front passenger, or from the front end, old rotor, and there's the back passenger rotor. So I'm gonna be, and this is all, that's privacy thing for in the back of the Jeep. That's some shocks or some struts, and then some coils for the Jeep. There's exhaust stuff. There's a whole bunch of parts for the Jeep there, which has even fog lights, empty can of brake clean. There's the Cadillac Rotors and my toolbox, and then there's rain gear, stuff like that. So old brake pads. Then we got the Trimmer Plus from Marketplace, and the weed whacker for attachments to Ryobi, which we have a weed whacker for. And we got the Ryobi leaf blower over here with our fitness equipment that we gotta clean it off so we can, and have a space so we can use it. So we'll be working on doing that. But first things first is making sure the Jeep is safe. So brakes and rotors for the Jeep on the back to make sure it's safe. There's the rear one. So we'll be doing that, and that's what I'm working on today.